Hello chaps, it's Troy Francis coming at you from London town. So, is Cold Approach dead? Not really a spoiler, obviously it isn't, but I want to delve into the issue because this is the kind of nonsense that gets thrown at us by haters, and not even haters, just like naysayers and stuff like that on the daily. So what a lot of people will say is, look, the reality is most couples get together through online, okay? Most couples now meet via the dating apps, they'll meet via Tinder or Bumble or Hinge or, Match.com or whatever the hell it is, okay? They will say, well, statistically that's true, so therefore Cold Approach is not relevant because that's just not where society is anymore, that's not how people meet, and so, you're teaching something that's kind of antiquated, it doesn't really work in 2023. This is the sort of spin that they'll put on it. Now, obviously, that's all a load of nonsense, right? And the reason is because, quite frankly, I don't give a damn what most people are doing. If you look at it like that, you could say, well, most people are eating junk food and they're getting fat and they're smoking 60 a day and they're drinking loads of alcohol and they're doing, various drugs to numb, their unhappiness that they're experiencing because they're caught in the matrix and blah, blah, blah. Okay? What most average people are doing is obviously shit because most average people are dumb and they just go along with the program and they do stuff that is not very effective, quite frankly. So the fact that, yes, statistically it may well be correct that the majority of couples now meet online, that doesn't affect me one iota, because the whole thing about building a skill set where you can go up to somebody that you find attractive, have a conversation with them, flirt a little bit, have a little bit of, deeper rapport maybe, and then exchange phone numbers and then arrange a date at a later point, to have that skill set increasingly is beyond the wit of most people, and certainly a lot of younger people, because of course, as we know, a lot of younger people have been brought up completely online. I mean, I'm a boomer, so I'm from the dark ages where we didn't even have an internet, we didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have any of this stuff, right? So, I'm coming at this from a slightly different angle, but when you think about people who are in their teens or early 20s now, their whole life has been online. And of course, the programming, the narrative is, well, this is how you meet somebody. If you want to meet a romantic partner, what you do is you pick up your piece of glass and silicon or whatever the hell is the iPhone is made of, and then you swipe through and you look at photographs of various different potential suspects, and then you click on one and you send them a message, and that's amazingly how you meet people. And then people will say that Cold Approach is weird, which is completely the wrong way around, because actually walking up to somebody and authentically expressing your interest and saying, hey, look, you seem really cool, I want to get to know you, that to me seems the most normal thing in the world that a human being can do, all right? You're being completely authentic, you're being absolutely yourself. You are saying exactly what you mean. You're saying exactly, what's on your mind, where you are emotionally. You're expressing that to the other person. Now, the other person may well not be interested. They may well not be available to you, and that's absolutely fine, okay? But to say that that is weird or unusual just seems completely messed up. And I think it's a reflection, unfortunately, of where we are as a society when people, this isn't just women or feminist women or something. This is like guys genuinely think that it's normal to meet a potential romantic partner, to potentially meet the mother of your children, for God's sake, by swiping on a phone. It's fucking insane. Just think about it for a second. It's absolutely insane, okay? Now, and that's not the only thing as well. Because most people are meeting online, what it means is if you've got the stones to go up and do an approach in real life, if you've got that skill set, if you've got the ability to do that, it puts you ahead of 99.999% of the rest of the male population. It just does, okay? Because most guys just frankly don't have the balls to do it. A lot of guys don't even think it's possible, or that it's just not in their realm of consciousness. It's not something that they could ever imagine doing, okay? And so the ability to do it in a socially calibrated, suave, charming kind of way just gives you a massive, massive advantage in a dating marketplace that, let's face it, is increasingly challenging. It gets harder every year, okay? The bad news is, if you're watching this and you're finding things hard now, you know, you're sitting there in, you know, Hull or some small town in the middle of wherever, and you're like, well, you know, I'm not getting many dates, you know, what do I do? I'll watch this Troy Francis stuff and see if I can, you know, see if I can get some tips. I mean, the bad news, I'm afraid, is that it's not going to get any easier. It's only going to get harder, right? What is this, you know, what has happened? What's happened is that the dating apps largely benefit women, to be honest. They don't really benefit guys. Because what they've given women is the ability to filter through all the dudes and basically just sort of reject immediately anybody who, you know, seems to be a bit of a dud, you know, a bit of a flannel. Immediately it's like, okay, swipe left, and then swipe right on the best looking, the most jacked, the richest, the people with the coolest lifestyles, okay? So if you're not presenting that avatar on a dating app, and let's face it, most average guys aren't, then you're pretty screwed. Now, I think, you know, we can be a little bit too dystopian about this stuff. I mean, of course, regular guys are still using the apps, they're still meeting women through that, they're still getting into dating situations and relationships and stuff like that. It's happening, right? It's not like it's impossible, but it is becoming increasingly difficult. And if you're looking to date what many of us, I think, would regard as the top tier of women, then doing it via the dating apps is just not a good strategy. Now, having said that, I'm not anti-dating apps. I think it's fine if you've got the dating apps running in the background. I think it's absolutely fine. I think, look, I mean, in a way it's foolish not to use the technology that we have at our disposal, okay? And the truth is that you're never going to be able to cover the amount of ground that you can via a dating app. It gives you huge reach in terms of the number of women that you can potentially meet and communicate with. So in that sense, they're good, but you've got to be realistic about it. And if you've been swiping for, you know, months or years and you're not really getting much action, or the results you're getting are subpar, then you seriously need to change up your strategy. Okay, now it could be that your dating profile is shit. Okay, that's possible, because I've seen a lot of dudes' dating profiles, and quite frankly, they're appalling. I'm not surprised that women are not jumping up to want to date these dudes, okay? Your photos may be crap. You know, even on things like Bumble, you've got to think about what you write as well. We were doing an interview with a guy recently, a fitness guy, but he does very well on the apps, and he was saying, actually, contrary to popular belief, the things that you write are actually very important in terms of the female decision-making process. So there's that to consider as well. Are you presenting yourself in the best light? And remember, with your photographs on the apps, it's not just about, do I look aesthetically pleasing in this photo? It's also, what's happening in the background? What kind of backdrop am I showing? Am I showcasing a cool lifestyle? Or am I sitting in some fucking kitchen somewhere? Or like in a garage, you know, or I don't know, in some sweaty, like crappy gym changing room. Because what you're presenting, it's the photograph of you, but it's also your lifestyle. You're presenting a little window into your lifestyle. And if that lifestyle looks a bit shit, then you can't blame the women that you're trying to interact with for thinking, well, you know, I'm not really feeling this. You know, I don't think I'm going to get a lot out of dating this dude. You know, it's pretty obvious stuff, right? So as I say, I've got no problem with people using the apps, but I don't think it should be the mainstay of your dating strategy. I believe the mainstay of your dating strategy should be, drum roll, going out and actually talking to people, okay? You know, you see somebody that you like, you go and have a conversation with her. Maybe she looks at you, maybe she smiles at you, you go up, you engage with her, you have a conversation, okay? If there seems to be some buy-in there, if she seems to be open to that, you know, she's smiling, she's laughing, she's clearly pleased, you know, she's happy that you're talking to her, then you continue with that and you suggest exchanging numbers, and then you text her and you arrange a date, okay? This is all very normal stuff. If you approach and she seems not to be open to that, not amenable to that, then you say, listen, it was great to meet you, have a wonderful day, and you leave, all right? Very, very simple. Incredibly normal stuff, but this is stuff that, bizarrely, you know, we're being told that we can't do, or guys believe that they can't do. Guys are being programmed, maybe you watching this have been programmed to think that this is somehow weird, when actually, what you're being told to do, which is swiping on a screen on a mobile phone, is incredibly weird when you stop to think of it. It's incredibly dystopian. You know, we're talking Aldous Huxley, Brave New World shit. So just think about it in that sense. But I mean, the main thing, I suppose, the main takeaway really is that, yes, a lot of people are meeting on the dating apps. Most people are meeting on the dating apps. Most people are using them as their main method of interacting with the opposite sex. So you've got to go against the grain, right? Don't do what everybody else is doing. It's like the principle in business, isn't it? You know, if you just do what everybody else is doing, you're going to be a poor competitor against the big boys up here, all right? You've got to do something else. You've got to be nimble. You've got to be swift. You've got to find the little routes around, okay? And the ability, as I say, to go up and just have a conversation with another human being, bizarrely, in this strange, fucked up world that we're all living in, puts you ahead of the pack in a huge, huge way. And it's an incredibly portable thing as well. You know, it's not just about you live in Stoke-on-Trent and that's just where you do it and it's all good. You know, you can travel around, you can go to different countries, you know, and you can meet women all over the world using exactly the same techniques, okay? So it's an incredibly portable skill set that's very, very useful in terms of just giving you a little bit of edge, to use that term, in what is an increasingly harsh and challenging dating environment, okay? So, rant over, but I hope you take some meaning from this. I hope you get what I'm saying. I think it makes sense. I mean, I think, as I say, to me it seems like a no-brainer, but bizarrely, for many people it isn't, so I think this needs to be said. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notifications bell because God knows I'm probably shadow banned to hell. So hit the notifications bell so you know when new videos are coming up. And do also get on my free email list. There's a link below. You can buy my books, collection of books, Renegade Dating Blueprint. Again, the link is below. And if you want to jump on a free call with me to discuss your own dating prospects, you can also do that. There is a link below. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.